Well, good Monday morning to everybody. Hope you are doing well. Kind of back in the swing of things now after the holidays. So we're back on a normal schedule, hopefully. Hopefully, it's a normal schedule. We shall see. Um, we are now starting the June the 7th date. It was a Sunday, June 7th in 1987. So since it's a Sunday, some of these games you're going to have the backups playing because that's what they did on Sundays is give players rest once in a while. We're at game number 373 overall on the project. We're at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, where the Toronto Blue Jays will host the Baltimore Orioles. Exhibition Stadium is a symmetrical ballpark, so singles are 1 to 9, home runs 1 to 11. Toronto comes in 34 and 18. They're 2 games back of the Brewers, who are in first place in the AL East. Baltimore is languishing at the bottom, and the only thing that keeps them out of last place is the Boston Red Sox. Pretty decent pitching matchup. Mike Boddicker is on the mound for the Orioles and Jim Clancy for the Blue Jays. Boddicker was 10 and 12 with a 4.18, and Clancy was 15-11 with a 3.54 in the real season. However, Clancy is 8 and 2 on the replay, while Boddicker has struggled to 3 and 7. So, got the game up on the computer. Let's get this puppy started, as they say. Get Clancy's full numbers on his replay. He is 8 and 2, ERA of 3.90. So he's actually got a higher ERA than he had in real world, but he is obviously getting some good run support. 85 innings pitched, 87 hits, 26 walks, 74 strikeouts. He does have a wild pitch rating of 10 with a balk rating of 2, and he's got a +1 for his hold. And with Ernie Witt as a 0, it's a net +1 for base running hold. Mike Boddicker has a net +3, as he is a +3 and Kennedy is a 0. Mike Boddicker's wild pitch is a 9 with his balk as a 0. Both catchers a very low pass ball rate, 2 for Kennedy, 3 for Witt. So shouldn't see too many pass balls, I wouldn't think, unless the Devil Die really is acting up. So Jim Clancy is going to get the ball started with his warm-up tosses. And Alan Wiggins will step in. There you can see the lineup for the Orioles and the Blue Jays. No roster moves. Everybody's still the same. They didn't add anybody, subtract anybody. And it's pretty much a standard lineup, except for the fact that they're using Rick Leach as a DH. They have McGriff and Cecil Fielder, who normally were DH, but this is a rare occasion where Rick Leach is going to get the start as a designated hitter. Again, it could be a Sunday thing. I don't know. So, with that in mind, we will get this game underway. Before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. That's a guarantee. Got to have that to get the ball rolling. Greetings, Mr. Gudeman. Good to see you. Hopefully you caught that ceremonial first sip, because that is some good coffee. Nice and hot. Put it in the 30 seconds before I came up here just to make sure it was extra warm, and hopefully it'll keep his warmth as the game progresses, and I won't need to stop at the 7th inning. That's what I'm hoping for. In fact, since it's a Monday morning, I figured 2 sips are better than 1. All right, Wiggins on the replay, really struggling. He hit a $170, a homer and 7 driven in. He hit 232 real world. Hello, Dr. D. And we're underway from Toronto. And, of course, as soon as we get underway, the white die decides not to come out. So we'll redo that roll. There we go. 2-6 for Wiggins, and he's going to ground it to short. Tony Fernandez will make the play. 1 away, and that will send up Jim Dwyer, the right fielder. He is hitting, on the replay, he is hitting 280, 6 homers, 12 driven in. He at 274 real world. 2-6, and that's a base hit for Jim Dwyer. Solid single for Dwyer. He is no threat to run, so they will not hold him on. And that'll bring up the 2 big guys, Cal Ripken and followed by Eddie Murray. Ripken on the replay. Struggling a bit, hitting 241, 7 homers, 26 driven in, but he only hit 252 real world. So he's not that far off, I guess. Clancy to Ripken, 6-5, and that's a fly to center, where Lloyd Mosby will haul it in for out number 2. 2 down, and that'll bring up Eddie Murray. Murray hitting 307 on the replay, 11 homers, 31 driven in. He hit 277 real world. 6-12, and that's going to be a ballpark blast on Clancy. It's a 1 to an 11, but that's a 12. Eddie Murray just literally robbed Barfield right at the warning track, stuck his glove up and caught it. But an 11 was the home run, and that's a 12. So the Devil Die didn't cooperate with Eddie Murray, but Clancy is glad of it. And at the end of half inning of play, it is Baltimore nothing and Toronto coming to bat. And Mike Boddicker on the mound for the Orioles. In the real season, he was 10-12 with a 4.18 earned run average. On the replay, he has struggled to 3-7 with a 5.95 earned run average. So he's had a rough year, no doubt about it. Not just the record, but the ERA. 85 innings pitched and 95 hits allowed. So that's a high number of hits to innings pitch ratios. Walk ratio is pretty good. 29 walks, 69 strikeouts. That's not bad. But he's given up a lot of base hits. And he's facing a good offensive team in Toronto. So Tony Fernandez will lead it off. Fernandez is hitting 357 on the replay, a homer and 15 driven in. He hit 322 real world. That's a 3-3. This time, though, he'll line it to Alan Wiggins at second base for out number 1. Good idea if you're Boddicker to keep Fernandez off the bases. Here's Lloyd Moseby. Moseby hitting 324, 15 homers, 53 driven in. He hit 282 real world. 4-3 is a fly ball left field X. That could be a little bit of trouble because Sheets is a 4. 4E8. 4 and a 6. The Devil Die comes out early with a low number, and it's probably going to cost him a hit. 4 and a 6 is guaranteed to be a single, and it is. That's a 9, and he is an E8. And there is no 9 there, but it's going to drop in front of Sheets, as Sheets has very limited range. So Moseby just flares one to left field. He's aboard, and of course, with that +3 on Boddicker, it's very tempting to try to steal. So a 2, 3, 4, or 5 will get him the lead. That's a 5. He's going to go. So he's a 19, being held as a 17, but the +3 is a 20. So basically, the only way he's out is on a 20. Kennedy's T rating is only a 2, so there's not much risk to throw it. So they'll go ahead and throw it by the off chance he might roll a 20. It didn't happen. So stolen base for Moseby. And very close to having that throwing error check, but it was secured there by Wiggins to make sure that didn't get away. But Moseby does reach second base on the stolen base. He's in scoring position with 1 out for Jesse Barfield, who leads the league in home runs with 19. He's hitting 313, 19 homers, 50 driven in. And in the real season, he hit 263 with 28 home runs. Nothing on the Havoc. 5-7, and that's a ground ball. Second base X. Second base is Wiggins. He's a 4E15. So this could be trouble as well. 4 and a 14, though, he'll probably get to that. Let's take a look here. 4 and a 14 is a G2, so he'll get to it. That's an 11, and he's an E15. There's no 11 there, so it will be a ground ball to second for the out. That'll move Moseby to third base. But now there are 2 away, and it's going to be up to George Bell, left fielder. George Bell in a clutch situation. And let's see, in the clutch, he is actually rated completely neutral in the clutch. Very interesting. Very interesting. On the replay, he's hitting 304, 16 homers, 46 driven in. He hit 308 real world. 5-8, and that's a strikeout for Boddicker, and that will end the inning. So a key strikeout for Boddicker gets him out of the jam. We go to the second inning, no score from Toronto. Clancy will be facing Lynn, Knight, and Kennedy, due up for the Orioles. Fred Lynn on the replay hitting just 205, 11 homers, 25 driven in. He at 253 real world. 4-8, and this time he's going to get himself a base hit. 1 to 15 is actually a double, but that's a 17, so he'll settle with a leadoff single. They will have to hold him one because he has the asterisk, but I don't believe he's going to try anything. He gets automatically caught stealing on a 7 through 10. So that's kind of rough to be trying something. In fact, let me look at his, let's take a look at his. First, let's put him on base with the base hit. And let's see what he's doing here as far as the steals in real world. Real world, he stole 3 bases, got caught 7 times. So you know what? We're going to try to steal. I'm going to take that back because the only way to recreate his 7 caught stealings is to try to steal. If you never steal, you're never going to recreate those 7 caught stealings. So he's going to try for the lead, at least attempt it. 2 through 6 or a 12 gets him the lead. That's a 6. He's going to actually get the lead. Becomes a 15, being held as a 13, but then the +1 is a 14. So 1 to 14, and Fred Lynn will steal the base. You got to try it sometimes, even though the odds may not be in your favor. But 1 to 14 is not bad. But he got caught stealing anyway. Boy, I'll tell you what, even Fred Lynn can't catch a break. But I mean, he got caught stealing 7 times in real world. So if you never try, you're never going to get the caught stealings on his credit. Now in the replay, he's stolen 1 base and got caught once. But if you never try to steal, you're never going to recreate that. So I thought that was a 1 to 14, 70% chance. You'd figure it's a good chance to go, but D20 had other ideas. All right, here's Ray Knight hitting 240, 4 homers, 18 driven in. He hit 256 real world. 4-6, and that's a walk. So Clancy will walk Ray Knight. Now Knight had no steal attempts, so he's not going anywhere. He's one of the slower guys in the league. And that'll bring up the catcher, Terry Kennedy. Kennedy hitting 232 on the replay, 11 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 250 real world. That's a 3-11, and that's a pop up to third. Rance Mullenix will take care of it for out number 2. 2 down, and we're left to Larry Sheets, the left fielder. Sheets hitting 292 on the replay, 10 homers, 20 driven in. Hit 16 real world. That's a 4-6, and that's another walk for Clancy. I'll put runners at first and second now with 2 outs for Mike Young. Mike Young. And that's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball on Clancy. I'm sorry, a balk or pass ball. See if there's a balk on. No, it's going to be a pass ball check on Witt, which is a 3. And there's no pass ball. So Young will swing it away. Young hitting 192 on the replay, 3 homers, 6 driven in. He hit 242 real world. Or 240, actually, real world. That's a 6-9 switch hitter, and that's a single to left field. The question is, do you want to run on George Bell? He's got a -2 arm. You do get the benefit of it being 2 outs, so that kind of cancels each other out right there. So the runner on second, Ray Knight, though, is one of the slower guys in the league. There were Okay, I believe we are back now. Sorry about that. I got a message when I was during that at bat that the power was low on the computer, but I figured I could finish the at bat before the power went out, but obviously I couldn't, so I should have connected the power cord before I even started the game. Just didn't do it. Thought I had time, and I didn't. So as we left off, Mike Young got a base hit to left field, and the question was whether Ray Knight was going to try to score from second. Bell is a -2 arm. There were 2 outs, so that kind of cancels each other out. So we stuck with the 8, but then you got the fact he wasn't being held. Well, yeah, he wasn't being held at second base, so that gives him a 9. So they actually get a 1 to 9 chance, which is not a very good chance, but it's still a 45% chance, and there's not a 45% chance that Alan Wiggins is going to reach base. So still the better odds are to send him. So they're going to send Ray Knight. It's a 1 to 9 to be safe. And he's in there, so it paid off. Ray Knight somehow got in there. and puts the Orioles in the lead 1-0 on the RBI single from Mike Young. Go figure. I did have to close down the Strat-O-Matic computer while this was going on, so I'm not going to have any stats to give you guys. So we're just going to play it out, and I'll input this to the computer after the fact. I don't want to take the time to do it now. All right, so Alan Wiggins is up with runners at first and second, and since Sheets is only a 9, he did not take third on the throw. All right, so here's Wiggins. Hello, Jeremiah. Here's Wiggins. 6'5", switch hitter. That's a fly to the left to end the inning. But the Orioles do strike, despite getting the leadoff man caught stealing. A walk, 2 walks and a single by Mike Young puts home a run, and the Orioles lead it 1-0. And the Brewers and Yankees are very happy about that, at least for now. All right, here's Rance Mulliniks, third baseman. He will lead things off, followed by Upshaw and Witt. 6-7, and that's a strikeout for Boddicker, his second strikeout in a row. And that's going back to the previous inning. Here's Willie Upshaw. 3-10 for Upshaw, and that's a single left field. So Upshaw will single, and he might be looking to get a lead as well. +3 from Boddicker certainly makes it look tempting. So a 3 through 7 gets him the lead. However, a 9 or a 10, he gets picked off. That's a 7, so he's going to go. He's a 15, being held as a 13, but the +3 is a 16. So 1 to 16, he'll make it. And he does, and it's a possible throwing error on Kennedy. His T rating is a 2. So no throwing error, but it is going to be a stolen base for Upshaw. Stolen base for Upshaw. He gets in scoring position now for Ernie Witt. .66 lefty is a 1-4 single. That's a 2. It's a base hit, 1 star. So that will put runners on the corners with only 1 out. And Rick Leach, the designated hitter, is your batter. Orioles playing back for that double play. 6-7, but Boddicker gets a strikeout, which is the next best thing, I suppose. His strikeout number 3. And now in a clutch situation, we got Garth Orge. Orge in the clutch will lose a hit on 112. That's the only place. Everywhere else he is neutral. Garth Orge. 5-9, and that is a split chance. It's going to be a line out to second base, or shortstop rather, and that will end the inning. So Boddicker pitches out of the mess. We go to the third, 1-0. I feel like the maybe the internet strength is not quite as good. I feel like it's a little bit choppy, but hopefully it's not. I have no idea. Hopefully it's at least tolerable. All right, here's Jim Dwyer. He will lead things off. 5-5, and that's a strikeout for Clancy, and that's the first strikeout for Clancy on the ball game. So he strikes out Dwyer. Here's Cal. Dan, if you're still around, sorry, you said good morning right as I lost power. So hopefully if you're here, good morning, sir. Here's Ripken, 2-7. And that's a 1-14 single. That is a base hit for Cal. So Ripken's aboard. He has really no threat to run, so they will not hold him on. And here's Eddie Murray. It's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. Clancy's second strikeout of the game. Second of the inning and second of the game. And now here's Fred Lynn. Lynn singles and was caught stealing his first time up. 2-10, and that's, look at this. There you go, Jeff, if you're still here. Clean as can be. 2-10, it's definitely clean. 2-10, home run. Clean home run. Clean as can be. Don't even need this guy. You just need these 3. 2-10, home run, Fred Lynn. And let me go to the Strat computer. Bring that back up, not for the game, but just for the stats, so I can see how many home runs that is for Fred Lynn. Let's see about Freddie Lynn here. The Orioles statistics. For Fred Lynn, that is home run number 12, RBI 26. Actually 27 because it's a two-run homer. Ripken was at first, so it's a two-run homer. Home run number 12. RBIs 25 and 26 for Freddie Lynn on the replay. And the Orioles lead it 3-0. Kind of putting surprise on the Blue Jays. That will send up Ray Knight. He walked and scored his first time up. 6-6, he's going to strike out. So Clancy strikes out the side, but in between there was a two-run home run, and at the end of 2.5, it is Baltimore 3 and Toronto 0. Here's Tony Fernandez. Line to second his first time up. 5-6, switch hitter batting left, and that's a 1-13 double. But that's a 16, so he will fly to right field, and there's one away. Here's Lloyd Mosby. 3-9 for Mosby is a solid single to center field, and Mosby's already stolen one base. He's going to look to steal again. Trying to get that lead 2-5. But he doesn't get it this time, so he'll hold. For Jesse Barfield. 2-4 for Barfield. That's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-9, but that's a 10. So he will line it to short. That's out number 2 for George Bell. Bell struck out his first time up. To 1-8, and this time he's going to ground it to Ripken at short to end the inning. Would have been a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play, but there were already 2 outs. So we just end it with that. 3-0 at the end of 3. And here's Jim Clancy back out. We'll face Kennedy, Sheets, and Young. 2 lefties and a switch. We had a 4-11. And that's a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Upshaw. He's a 2E11. 2 and a 4. Should still be okay, I would think. It's a G3 pound, but the pound sign's irrelevant. Nobody was being held on base, so he's going to get to it with the G3. That's an 8, and he's an E11. There's an 8 right there. So Upshaw boots it. He thought he had it and was going to flip the Clancy covering, but he flips it behind Clancy, and Clancy can't catch it. So that'll go down as an error, E3. E3 on Upshaw to start the inning. And that'll bring up Larry Sheets. That's a 3-6, and that's a fly to right field. 1 away for Mike Young. He had the RBI single in the second inning. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. 1-9. That's going to get another base hit. 1-star single. Kennedy will stop at second, but 2 are on with only 1 out for Alan Wiggins. For 10, switch hitter batting left, and that's an in-home run chance. 1-7. That's a 12, though, so it'll be a double. Double for Alan Wiggins, and that will score Kennedy for sure to make it 4-0. Question is, do they try to send Young? Young's a 14, not being held as a 15. The double is assumed to go to center field, which is Mosby, who's a 0 arm. And with 1 out, Wiggins would definitely take third on a throw. So let's see here, 1-15. And if you throw through, you're going to send Wiggins to third base. You got to bring the infield in. So I think they're just going to cut the play and cut their losses. So a 2-run double off the bat of Alan Wiggins, and the Orioles lead it 5-0. 1 out, runner at second for Jim Dwyer. That's a 5-10, and it's the same. 5-10's over here. Ballpark single check. 1-9, but that's a 13. So he will line it to second base. 2 down. And that'll send up Cal Ripken. Clutch situation for Ripken. That's a 6-5, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. But 2 more runs come in, and you wonder how long Jim Clancy will hang around, as he is not performing very well right now. He is an 8-game winner, but that's in jeopardy this time. He might be a 3-game loser after this. Somebody's pitching really well, though, is Mike Boddicker, trying to get his 4th win of the season. Here's Mullenix, third baseman. 3-7 for Mullenix. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Mr. Boddicker. And that'll bring up Upshaw. And, of course, Milwaukee and the Yankees both loving this result. 6-8, and that's a fly to right field. Hauled in out there by the right fielder Dwyer. 2 up, 2 down for Ernie Witt. 1-6 for Witt. That's a base on balls. That'll keep the inning going. That is the first walk issued by Boddicker. Witt, of course, no threat to run, will not be held. And here's Rick Leach. He struck out his first chance up. 5-6, left-handed. 1-13 is a double. That's a 5. It's a double, and it's assumed to go to center field. So that's Fred Lynn, who is a 0 arm. Witt was a 10. Not being held is an 11. 2 outs makes him a 13. So 1-13, they're going to send him, and that's what is that, 65% chance? You got to take it. They're going to send him 1-13, and he's in there. RBI double from Rick Leach. Since Leach runs at less than a 13, he will, by my house rules, he will not take third. So he stays at second. But it is an RBI double from Rick Leach. And now the Blue Jays finally on the board at 5-1. Here's Garth Orge. 3-6 for Orge. It's a 1-4 single. That's a 2. So base hit. Going to put runners at the corners and 2 outs for the top of the order, Tony Fernandez. So a 2-out rally by the Blue Jays. Trying to creep a little closer. 4-6, and that's a walk. So second walk in the inning for Boddicker. Has now loaded the bases for Lloyd Mosby. He is now the tying run. 1 long ball, and we got a tie game. Clutch situation for Mosby. In the clutch, he is going to give up 1 hit on 3-9. That's it. He loses that 1 hit. That's a 1-4, and it's a fly to center, and that will end the inning. The Blue Jays leave them loaded. So they come away with 1 run, but that was all. They were looking for more. We go to the 5th. It is still 5-1 Orioles. And we wonder how long Jim Clancy will hang around. Bullpen activity. Jose Nunez is loosening the bullpen for the Blue Jays. He is their long reliever. He's got a relief rating of 3. So right-hander Jose Nunez in the bullpen. Right now, it'll be Eddie Murray. He is 0 for 2. It's a 1-4. He is now 0 for 3 on a ground ball to Garth Orge. 1 away for Fred Lynn. He's had a good day, a single and a home run for Freddie Lynn. 4-4, and that's going to be a ground ball third base X. That is Orge. That is Mullenix. He's a 4E31. 4-16, he will get to that. 4-16 is a G2. That's a 14, and he is an E31. E31, there's a 14 right here for a 2-base error on Rance Mullenix. The E31 and a 14, and that is a 14. It's a 2-base error. Fred Lynn is going to reach again. It'll be on an E5, and that's a second error by the Blue Jays in this game, as Mullenix really had a problem there. That'll bring up Ray Knight. Hello, RJL. Good to see you. Ray Knight, 4-6, and that's a walk. So Clancy teetering on coming out of this ball game. Gives up another run. He's out of there. Here's Kennedy. Double play would get him out of the inning, though. 4-6, and that's another walk by Clancy. That's going to load the bases. Wow. Bases are loaded. What is that, the third walk for Clancy? Fourth walk for Clancy in the game. Bases are loaded for Larry Sheets. Man, what do you do if you're the Blue Jays? You might have to do something. You might have to make some drastic measures to try to stay in the game. So they're actually going to not bring in Nunez yet. They're going to bring in Gary Lavelle to try to get him out of the inning. Lefty on lefty, just to try to get out of the inning, and then they could, go to somewhere else if they want. But Lavelle is going to come in. Clancy just didn't have it. Lavelle is a +1 hold. But the bases are loaded with 1 out, and lefty Larry Sheets at the plate. So Clancy is going to go 4 1/3, and we'll fill in the rest because he's responsible for all these guys on base. So he's responsible for all 3 of them. So Larry Sheets, lefty. Let's look at the numbers on Lavelle. He's had limited duty. Limited duty here for Lavelle. Let's see what he's got here on the replay. Lavelle, he's 1-0, but he's got an ERA of 18. He's pitched 1 game, he pitched 1 inning, given up 2 runs, but he actually won that game because of run support. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. So Lavelle, only his second appearance of the season, and it's in a big spot against Larry Sheets. The infield's looking for the double play to get out of this inning. 5-6, and that's a strikeout. That will not be a double play, but they'll take it as he strikes out Sheets. And here comes Mike Young, who's 2 for 2, switch hitter. Lavelle trying to get out of it. Clutch situation now for Young against the lefty. He loses a hit, 111. And he also loses 2 more hits, 3-4 and 3-5. 6-7, and that's a single 2 stars. So those runs will be charged to Clancy. They're unearned because of the error. But Lynn and Knight will both score. Going to third is Kennedy. So that is now 7 runs that Clancy is charged with, 5 of which are earned. So we know that 4 of which are earned because they shouldn't have got that either. So that was another unearned run. So 3 of the runs are unearned out of the 7. So 3 is the most we can give up on the earned runs. But they all count whether they're earned or not. So 2 more runs have come in. It's now 7-1 Orioles. And here's Wiggins, who will turn around bat right-handed. 5-9, and that's a walk. And that's going to reload the bases for Jim Dwyer, a lefty. Now, normally Jim Dwyer does not face left-handed pitching. Only 5% of the time, but maybe I guess we'll call this one of the 5%. I mean, you're up by that much. I don't think you're going to pinch hit for him. He's a pretty good defender. 3-7, and he struck him out to end the inning. But that's going to do it for Lavelle. He was in there just to try to get out of the inning. He's going to go 2/3 of an inning. 7 runs come across the plate in this game for the Orioles. Only 3 of them are earned. So we can try to close the book on – first, let's close the book on Lavelle. A hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And for Clancy, he's going to give up, let's see here for Clancy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 hits. He's going to walk 4, and he's going to strike out not that many. 1, 2, 3. I've just got him for 3 strikeouts. And he's in danger of dropping to 8-3. And the guy who's loving it is Mike Boddicker. He's getting all the run support he can handle. 7-1 Orioles, bottom of the 5th. It'll be Barfield, Bell, and Mullenix. 2-3, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. 1 away for George Bell. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to third. 2 up and 2 down. Boddicker just rolling along, no problems, no sweat. Blue Jays have been off the whole game. 2 errors and bad pitching. 1-9, and that's a ground ball to first. 3 up and 3 down go the Blue Jays. Some days it's just not your day, even though, looking at the records of the two teams, you would think this was an easy win for Toronto, but not so. Particularly on Sundays. You never know what's going to happen on these Sunday games because it was Sunday, June the 7th. So Jose Nunez will come on. In the real season, he was 5-2 with a 5.01 ERA. On the replay, Nunez is 0-2 with an 8.27 ERA, 15 games, 20 and 2/3 innings pitched, 22 hits, 24 walks, and 28 strikeouts. So he is the guy that comes in and pitches mop-up, basically. He's the Blue Jay mop-up guy, and this is definitely a clear case of using mop-up guys. So here's Cal Ripken, and he's got a relief of 3, so he can pretty much almost finish the game out if he's effective. 5-8, it's a strikeout. That's a good way to start. Strikes out Mr. Ripken, 1 away. For Eddie Murray, he's 0 for 3. 3-8, and that's a ground ball to short. He's now 0 for 4. So Ripken and Murray combined are 1 for 8. So it's been the other guys for the Orioles that have been doing the duty, doing the damage, particularly Fred Lynn. He's singled and homered. 1-7, and he'll draw a base on ball, so he reaches base all 4 times, 1 via an error, 1 via a walk. The other ones were singles and homers. So Fred Lynn is on base. Nunez is a +2 hold. So Fred Lynn might try to steal again if he can get the lead. He got caught the first time, but first you don't succeed, you try again. That's an 8, so he is actually picked off. 7 through 10, he was picked off. So Fred Lynn is caught stealing, picked off, whatever you want to call it. But it doesn't, they're playing with house money. They're leading 7-1, so why not try it? And that'll bring up Boddicker. His fatigue is the 7th inning, so he's definitely good to go as far as fatigue goes. Plus, he's pitching a shutout. 2-10 for Upshaw, and he's going to pop it up to second. 1 down. And that'll bring up Ernie Witt. 4-5, and that is a line out to third. 2 down. 2 up and 2 down for Rick Leach. 1-5, and that's going to be a 1-2 triple. That's a 20, so Leach will settle with a double. So at least Jimmy Williams knew what he was doing by putting Leach in the DH spot. He's 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. One of the few bright spots for the Blue Jays. Here's Garth Orge. .66 for Orge is going to be a 1-17 single. It's only 1 star, though, so runner Leach can only make third base. So runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Tony Fernandez. And Orge not being held at first. 4-3, switch hitter batting left is a fly ball left field X. That's trouble because that is Sheets. He's a 4. And a 4, he has a hard time getting to the ball sometimes. 4-11, he'll get to that one, though. 4-11 is, well, maybe he won't. 4-11 is actually a single 2 stars. It's the last hit in the number 4 section, so he does not get to the ball. That is a 12, and Sheets is an E8. There's no 12 there, but it's going to drop in for a base hit, single 2 stars. Just a limited range from Sheets, and that allows Leach to score and sends Orge to third. It's now a 7-2 game. And Boddicker's looking over at Sheets saying he should have had that one. Here's Lloyd Mosby. Does Fernandez try to steal? That's the other question. Fernandez needs a 6 or a 7 to get the lead. He gets the lead with a 7. He's going to go. He's an 18. Being held a 16, but the +2 is an 18. So 1-18, he will steal it. And he's in there. Stolen base for Fernandez, and that's big because a base hit now will score 2 runs. You don't need the extra base hit. You just need the single at this point. Mosby. 3-6. He's going to draw a walk. It's going to load the bases. Now Boddicker running into some issues all of a sudden. And Jesse Barfield, who leads the league in home runs, steps to the plate. He is almost the tying run. If he gets a grand slam, it all of a sudden is a 7-6 game. So Boddicker's got to be on his P's and Q's. In the clutch for Barfield, he loses a hit on 1-8 and on 2-12. It's a 4-7, though, and that's a walk. Boddicker's going to walk in a run. And now the Oriole bullpen starting to stir. It looked like Boddicker was rolling, but all of a sudden now he has found issues. It's now 7-3, and now George Bell comes up as the tying run. And a grand slam here would tie the game. But Bell in the clutch is completely neutral. So Boddicker hanging on by a thread. 1-5, and look at this. What do you know? On a 1-5, it's clean as a baby's ass right here. Grand salami, a burrito supreme from George Taco Bell. A 1-5, and we've got a tie game at 7. The game is never over when the Orioles are playing and they're in the lead because you can count on their pitching to give it up. 1-5 is a grand salami, and for George Bell, that is home run number 17, RBIs 47, 48, 49, and 50. The 2 walks were the killers right in front of that. But George Bell has tied the game, and that's going to be it for Boddicker. He's going to end up with a no decision. And Clancy actually gets off the hook. He was going to take the loss, but he will get off the hook now. Grand salami, home run number 17 for George Taco Bell. And the new pitcher for the Orioles will be coming on. And it will be Mark Williamson. Or do they go to a lefty? There are 3 lefties coming up. So actually they're going to a lefty. That's what I meant to do. It's going to be their one lefty in the bullpen, Jack O'Connor. He's actually the guy to come on since they are facing lefties. So Jack O'Connor was 1-1 with a 4.30 ERA in the real season. And all of a sudden, Boddicker looked like an easy win, and it just fell apart for him. So Boddicker goes 5 2/3 innings. He's going to give up 7 runs, all of which were earned. It's not going to help the old ERA there, is it? Let's see. I don't have the computer up, so I got to do all this manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits I've got him for. I've got him for, I believe, 4 walks. Let's see. Yep, 4 walks. And looks like 4 strikeouts. So not the best outing in the world. Now, with the lefty up there now, the Blue Jays will pinch hit for Mullenix with Kelly Gruber. So Kelly Gruber will be coming on to pinch hit for Mullenix to counter that left-handed reliever. So Gruber will be on. He will pinch hit in the 6th and play third base in the 7th. So Kelly Gruber. 9th man to bat in the inning. Willie Upshaw led off the inning. Boddicker got the first 2 outs, no problem. And then that seemingly innocent double from Leach got the ball rolling. So here's Gruber. O'Connor on the replay. I don't think he's pitched all that much, but we'll check it out. See what his stats are. O'Connor on the replay. Where are you? There he is. He's actually pitched pretty decently. He's pitched more than I thought. This will be his 13th game. In 12 games, he's a 1-0 with a 2.79 ERA. 19 1/3 innings, he's pitched 15 hits, 8 walks, 11 strikeouts. So he's actually pitched pretty well. Trying to get this final out against Gruber. 2-6, and he does on a ground ball to short. But the Blue Jays put up a 6-pack in the 6th, and we got a tie ball game into the 7th inning. Brand new game. Didn't see that one coming. All right, so Nunez now will face Knight, Kennedy, and Sheets. So Nunez and O'Connor now the pitchers of record. .64, and that's trouble for Nunez. 6-4, an in-home run is 1-11. That's a 2. Ray Knight had just gone deep to give the Orioles the lead right back. Ray Knight. Home run. We'll look at it again. The 6-4. is an in home run chance 1 to 11. He's got the normal power, and that's a 2. So Ray Knight, home run number 5, RBI number 19. And just like that, the Orioles reclaim the lead 8 to 7. Here's Terry Kennedy. 2-2 for Kennedy, and that's a strikeout plus injury, so Kennedy may have to leave this game. Very well may have to. Let's go to the injury chart. It would be a in-game only injury. He would not, because it's as played, so the only games he can miss is right now. So 1 through 6, he can stay in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. And it's a 3, he can stay in the game. So Kennedy will shake it off and stay in the game. If not, then we're going to have to go to Dave Van Gorder, the backup catcher, but they don't have to do that right now. Here's Larry Sheets. 4-7, that's a base on balls. Sheets, no threat to run, though. And here's Mike Young, number 9 hitter. 2-5 for Young, and that is there we go. We finally have a Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made player double play of the game. Ground ball shortstop A. It'll be a 6-4-3. That double play sponsored by Giovanni's Tailor Shop. If you're in Pennsylvania, be sure to check them out. It is now 8 to 7 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. And Jack O'Connor comes back out. He now is the pitcher of record to be the winner if the score stays as is. As long as the Blue Jays don't tie the game or take the lead, he would be the winner. All right, here's Upshaw. Lefty-lefty matchup against O'Connor. 6-10. Fly ball center field X. We're looking at Freddie Lynn. He's a 3-E3. You would think he would make the play. 3-20 definitely gets there. E3, the only errors he has in center field on an E3 are 3, 16, and 18, and that's the 7. So good play for Freddie Lynn to retire Upshaw. 1 away. He's going to bring up Ernie Witt. Ernie Witt is 1 for 2. That's a 5-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. We're checking Jim Dwyer. He's a 3-E1. So the only error he can make is a 3 and a 17 are his only errors. And that's not 3 or 17. That's an 11. That's a 9. 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9, he makes the play. So nice play there by Dwyer. 2 down. For Rick Leach. Now, did we take Rick Leach out? He was facing the right-hander Boddicker. But now with the lefty in there, I think you have to, even though Leach has had a good game, I think you're going to have to bring in Cecil Fielder to DH against the lefty pitcher. So Cecil Fielder will get the call, and he will be the DH. Pinch hitter and then stay in the game as the DH. So Fielder will pinch hit in the 7th and stay in the game to DH. After that, Cecil Fielder. One swing in the back and tie the game. So Fielder got off to a red-hot start. He's kind of, evened off a little bit. Right now he's hitting 270 on the replay, 9 homers, 18 driven in, and just 63 at-bats. That's a 6-10. It's ground ball third base X. We're looking at Ray Knight. Knight is a 4-E23. 4 and 11. Should be okay, I think. 4 and 11. Yep, it's G3. That's good enough. That's a 7. And he is an E23. E23, there's no 7 there. So Ray Knight is able to make the play. And Jack O'Connor pitches a scoreless 7th inning. How about that? So Nunez back out. Will face Alan Wiggins, Jim Dwyer, and Cal Ripken for the Orioles as they lead it now 8 to 7. 6-6 switch hitter. That's a 1-6 double. 7-20 is a single. That's a base hit. And now the Blue Jay bullpen loosening again. They had Nunez in there as a mop-up guy, but it's not a mop-up situation anymore. So they may be looking for more help. Looks like they've already used Lavelle. So it looks like Mark Foghorn Eichhorn is loosening in the bullpen. And I think this is going to be the last batter for Nunez, most likely. They don't want Nunez facing Ripken and Murray. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. So Nunez will end on a positive note, I guess you could say. Or do they leave him in there? They'll let him pitch to Ripken. See how he does. 5-9, and he struck him out, so it was a nice move to stay with him. Show confidence. Here's Eddie Murray. Murray is 0 for 4. I guess you could say he's due. 4-6, but he's going to ground to short. Fernandez is a 1E17. They actually, it's going to be a 2E17 because Wiggins, they were holding him on, and the shortstop is responsible with a left-handed batter. So he's actually a 2E17 in this case. Doesn't matter anyway. That D20 is a 17, so he's going to get to it as a G1. That's a 12. He's an E17. There is no 12 there, so Fernandez will make the play to end the inning. That will be all for Nunez. Eichhorn will come in and pitch the 9th inning. Still 8-7 ball game. Nunez is going to go, let's see here. He's going to end up going 3 innings. And he's going to give up 1 run. And let's see how many hits. Just 2 hits, I think. But he did walk a couple. Did walk 2. He did strike out 4 with 2 hits. But he's on the losing end unless his team can manage to come back. Now, of course, if Toronto takes the lead, they'll bring in Hinkie. If they stay behind, they'll bring in Eichhorn. O'Connor has gone an inning and a third. He's got all 4 batters out that he's faced. So they're going to leave him in there. Why not? Nobody's gotten any on base against him yet. And here's Garth Orge to lead it off. That's a 3-6 for Orge, and he's going to fly to left. So that is 5 in a row. All 5 retired by O'Connor. Back to the top of the order for Fernandez. That's a 2-8 for Fernandez against the lefty. He's going to ground to third. That's now 6 in a row retired by O'Connor, all 6. Here's Mosby. 4-5, and that's trouble. 1-8's a home run. That's a 6. He's got normal power. We got a tie game again just that quickly. Look at it again. 4-5 is an in-home run chance on a 1-8, and that's a 6. And Mosby has normal power. We now have a tie ball game. Lloyd Mosby goes deep to tie the game at 8 here in the 8th. For Mosby, that is home run number 16, RBI number 54 on the replay, and that's going to be it for O'Connor. But the righties coming up, they will pull him, and the Orioles will go to Ken Dixon out of their bullpen. So O'Connor will end up going, looks like 2 innings. The 1 hit, the 1 run, which was the homer. No walks, no strikeouts. So Ken Dixon will come on and face Jesse Barfield. Is now tied at 8 here in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. 3-6 for Barfield, and he will strike out. So Dixon strikes him out to end the inning. Well, we go to the 9th. The score tied at 8 apiece. Now, do they use Eichhorn or do they use Hinkie? Because it's no longer a save situation. Let's see who's got the most rest. Hinkie has pitched 23 games. Eichhorn has pitched 22. Let's see. They're actually going to go with Eichhorn. He's had a better replay so far. So they are going to go with Foghorn Eichhorn. But he's a +5 hold, which is not good. But the Orioles don't run, other than Alan Wiggins, they don't run much anyway. So Eichhorn is going to come on. He'll be facing Lynn, Knight, and Kennedy for the Orioles in an 8-8 ball game. Let's see if I can move this over here just a touch and see if that'll get those 3 and 6 columns more into view by doing that. Hopefully. I think that's too far. So let's bring it back just a hair. All right. So here's Fred Lynn. Eichhorn facing Lynn. We get a 5-4. And that's an in-home run chance on the 5-4. 1-12. And that's a 6. Unbelievable. Fred Lynn has gone deep for the second time in the ball game. Look at it again. 5-4. In-home run chance 1-12. And that's a 6. Lynn has normal power, obviously. So Lynn has done it again. Home run number 13. Fred Lynn makes it a 9-8 game. 13th home run for Lynn, second of the game. And the Orioles right back out front. Now Tom Niedenfuhr is loosening in their bullpen, their closer. Here's Ray Knight. 6-8 for Knight against Eichhorn is a strikeout. So he did strike him out. One away. Here's Terry Kennedy. 4-4. And that's a ground ball right back to Eichhorn. Out number 2. And that'll send up Larry Sheets. 6-6 lefty is a solid single for Larry Sheets. And they will pinch run for Sheets with Ken Gerhardt, who will stay in the game to play left field. He's a better defender. He's only a 2 where Sheets is a 4. So Ken Gerhardt will pinch run for Sheets and then stay in the game to play left field in the bottom of the 9th. Ken Gerhardt pinch running in the 9th and left field in the 9th. So Ken Gerhardt, he is a threat to run, especially with that +5 from Eichhorn. So we'll see if he wants to. He's going to try for the lead. Needs a 4 or a 6 to get the good lead. 4 or a 6. He gets the 6. He's going to go. 18 being held as a 16, but the +5 makes it almost guaranteed. Only way he's out is on a 20. That's a 2. Possible throwing error on Witt, who's a 4. No throwing error, but it is a stolen base for Gerhardt. So he's in scoring position for Larry Sheets. Eichhorn has to settle in, try to not to let a second run come across. But Orioles looking for more. Clutch situation for Sheets. And in the clutch, Sheets will gain some hits. 3-2, 3-6, and 3-10 are all hits for Sheets. So that's something to keep an eye on. 3-2, 3-6, and 3-10 are all clutch hits. We get a 3-12, though, which is still going to be a single. But in the advanced game, it's a single. In super advanced, you drop down. It's a line out to second. And so that cost them a run right there. But they do take the lead. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Dixon's only going to face one batter and strike him out, but he's in line to get the win. Just to face one batter. Because now they're going to Niedenfuhr, their closer, who they acquired from the Dodgers for John Shelby earlier in the season. So Tom Niedenfuhr is on. Get the numbers on Niedenfuhr on the replay. On the season, Niedenfuhr 3-5 with a 4.99 ERA. On the replay, Niedenfuhr, this will be his 5th game. He's 0-0 with a 3.18 ERA and 1 save, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So Niedenfuhr coming on, and he'll be facing Bell, Mullenix, and Upshaw, the scheduled hitters for the Blue Jays here in the 9th inning. Bell, Mullenix, and Upshaw. And Bell hit that grand slam his last time up as 17th, so you never know. Maybe he's going to pull a Jack Clark on Niedenfuhr. I don't know. 4-2 is a ground ball first base C, so Murray will get it and flip to Niedenfuhr covering. And there's one away. Kelly Gruber Steps to the plate. Remember, he came in from Mullenix to pinch hit against the lefty, so he's going to stay in there, obviously. Unless they want to go to another pinch hitter, they could always use somewhat Manny Lee at third, I guess. If they have a left-handed, they could go to McGriff, possibly. Could possibly go to McGriff here. But do they have anybody else to play third base is the question. Yeah, they could actually put, well, no, Fielder's a DH. Can't use him. Garth Orge could play third, and they can move. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to pinch hit for Gruber with Fred McGriff. Going to use a crime dog. Crime dog will pinch hit. If it goes extra innings, they will bring in Manny Lee to play second base and then move Mullenix. They will bring him to play second base and move Orge to third base if that's what they decide to do. Well, that's what they would have to do, I guess. So McGriff's going to pinch hit here in the ninth. Let's get the numbers on McGriff on his replay so far and in the real season. In the 87 season, McGriff, 20 home runs and just 295 at-bats and hit 247. He did strike out 100 times. On the replay, McGriff, on his replay, is hitting 243, 10 homers, 18 driven in. So they're looking for lightning in a bottle for the long ball because chicks dig the long ball. Niedenfuhr, 3-7 to McGriff. That's a 1-17 double. So McGriff will double. A double for McGriff, and he will be pinch run for by Manny Lee, who's a better runner. Manny Lee runs at a 15. McGriff only runs at a 10. So even with the DH, you can still do some managing. So Manny Lee will pinch run for McGriff here in the ninth. And he's not going to try to steal or anything, but he is a 1-15, and that can help on a single for sure. So McGriff did his job as a pinch hitter, and now here's Willie Upshaw. Niedenfuhr trying to lock it down. 2-8, and that's a pop out to third by Upshaw. That's out number 2. And now we're all down to Ernie Witt. Last chance for the Blue Jays. Ernie Witt, 269 hitter in the real season, so not going to pinch hit for him. He's hitting 290 on the replay, so we're definitely not going to pinch hit for him. It is a clutch situation with Lee at second base and 2 outs. So we look at Ernie Witt in the clutch, and he is rated where he gains 1 hit on a 2-2 and 1 hit on a 2-11. So 2 extra hits come his way in that column 2, 2-2 and 2-11. Niedenfuhr trying to close it out. That's a 2-12. He just missed that clutch base hit. Instead, he grounds it to Murray, and the inning's over, and the ball game is over. Tom Niedenfuhr hangs on for the save, his second of the replay. The winner is Ken Dixon. Dixon will improve with that win. Let's get his record. Ken Dixon will improve to 2-2. He'll even his record at 2-2. The loss will go to Eichhorn. We'll get the numbers on Eichhorn. Eichhorn will now drop to, well, that's his first decision. He goes to 0-1. Eichhorn went 1 inning, gave up the hit, which was, well, he gave up 2 hits actually. The home run, no walks and a strikeout. And Niedenfuhr gave up a double, but that was it. No walks, no strikeouts. So for the Orioles, 9 runs on 12 hits and no errors. For the Blue Jays, 8 runs on 12 hits, but 2 big errors that caused a lot of unearned runs to come across. So Toronto, with that loss, will drop to 34-19, and they now drop 2.5 games behind the Brew Crew, depending on what the Brewers and Yankees do in their game. And that's actually the next game, Brewers and Yankees tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, they're temporarily 2.5 games back. So there you have it. Orioles get a big lead. They lead 8-1. Blow the lead. Or lead 7-1, sorry. Blow the lead. Get the lead back. Blow the lead again and get the lead back. And this time in the ninth, they don't blow it. So game 373 is in the books. Be sure to check out RJL as he has his season opening 1980 season replay, or not season replay, but season, RJL season in Inside Pitch Advanced. And I think he says it's going to be roughly around 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. So be sure to check that out. When his game is over, I will probably do a Demolition League game in the 2020 Imagine set. So if you have something to follow that up, most likely. Not sure, not 100% sure, but that's tentatively the plan. I do have a men's church group tonight, and sometimes I don't get back from that until 9 o'clock. So it'd be like 9:30 before I did it. But with his schedule, he's going to still be streaming at 9:30, so that won't be a problem. And since I'm retired, I don't have to get up early, so the next morning, so I'm free to kind of stay up as late as I need to be. Maybe not as late as Beatles Eternally does, but still later than what I used to do. So I do thank all of you for stopping by. Sorry about the little snafu we had in the second inning with the power outage, but thank you for those that stuck with me and end up watching what turned out to be a pretty decent ball game, all in all. So, you're welcome, Dan. Thank you for being here. Thank to everybody else for being here. Again, final score. Orioles win it 9-8 as they hang on and win it. Dixon the winner 2-2. Niedenfuhr his second save. The loss goes to Eichhorn. He's 0-1. Player of the game is, without a doubt, Fred Lynn. 2 home runs, including the home run that won it in the 9th. He also singled and scored on an error and walk. So he did pretty much everything they could ask him to do. George Bell did have a grand slam in the 7th, or in the 6th inning to get him even in the game, but they couldn't hang on from there to do anything. So that's going to do it from here. Ready? Are you ready? Didn't see you snap in at the last minute, but that's going to do it from here. Tomorrow morning, it'll be the Yankees and the Brew Crew from Milwaukee as the Yankees try to catch up with the Brew Crew and trying to tighten that gap in the American League East. That'll be the game tomorrow, roughly around 9 o'clock Eastern. Tonight, maybe around 9:30 Eastern, we'll be looking at the Demolition League game in the 2020 Imagine set. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Monday, whatever. Hello, Joel. Didn't see you there. Hope you all have a great Monday, whatever you have planned, whether you're working or off or whatever you happen to have going on. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.